That was David Ortiz today talking about how much Boston has meant to him. Red Sox chairman Tom Werner has been along for a heck of a ride with David Ortiz. What has he meant to you and to the team?
As anybody who has followed the Red Sox the last 13 years, his ability to be Mr. Clutch is what is most memorable to me. You know, I recently watched a replay of the 2004 ALCS, and his hitting carried us obviously into the World Series, but he's done it over and over again. When we hired Dave Dombrowski, you know, he was still smarting, because I took Dave around Fenway Park, and he was still smarting about the home run that David Ortiz hit in the second game against Detroit, which really changed that series around. And his leadership off the field, we talk always about his leadership on the field. Remember that moment we were all watching on television when he gathered the team around him to give him a pep talk when we were down. But his leadership off the field is also extraordinary. The connection that he has made with the fans and the philanthropic pursuits that he's led. He's just an extraordinary role model, and we don't have enough of them in society.
You know, I would say a generation of New England Little Leaguers spit into their gloves now before they go. He has meant so much to baseball in our community. Do you foresee a role with the team when he's done playing?
If David would like to have a role, then he's welcome to it, because he's not just done it on the field, but he's a mentor, and you can see him coaching the younger players when they come up to the majors. And he's just, as we all know who've had the privilege to be around him, he's smart, he's charismatic, he's articulate, and he's done it by example.
I know we'll spend a lot of time speculating what that final game at Fenway will be like and what the goodbye gift, but I know the ultimate goodbye gift is a fourth championship for David Ortiz.
And to play postseason baseball this year. That's his goal, that's our goal, and we want to extend his stay here as long as possible.
The team comes together tomorrow morning. You have that first meeting, sort of set the tone, the expectations. After back-to-back last place finishes, a change with Dave Dombrowski coming in, do you feel you have assembled an organization ready to get you back there?
Well, we're optimistic. We were, of course, optimistic last year, but I think Dave has done a great job bringing in a top-of-the-line pitcher, one of the great pitchers in baseball, a great closer, a fourth outfielder, a stronger bullpen. So it's all there on paper, but you know, Tom, that you got to play the game, and there's always a lot of surprises, but we're very optimistic, and I think that the odds makers in Las Vegas like us, that probably should worry me, but it's a good group of people there, and some of them had tough first years playing in the American League East, and I'm hopeful that we'll be playing baseball for a long time in October.
You were instrumental last year in baseball's attempt to quicken the pace of play. I mean, not necessarily the pace of game, but to keep the game moving while it's being played. It did lead to shorter games, but you said throughout last year, whenever we talked to you about it, that it was just the beginning. Where do you go from here? I know you were happy with the results in year one. Where does it go from there?
Well, we've talked about a rule that I believe will be instituted this year, where once a manager crosses the line to talk to a pitcher, that he has to signal to the bullpen within 30 seconds, so that we don't have that moment where we all know that he's stalling to get the pitcher to throw another couple pitches in the bullpen before they come in. So we're trying to make some incremental changes. I'm proud of the fact that last year, for the first time, pace of the game was diminished versus the year before, and they were under 3 hours. But we want to make the game as crisp as possible, and so we still are throwing around some good ideas.
And there are ideas being instituted in the minor leagues where young players are coming up having learned to play a quicker pace. Is the belief that as years go on, these guys will arrive at the majors playing a quicker pace?
Yeah, we have a clock, as you know, in some of the minor league leagues that encourage a pitcher to pitch within 20 seconds. And that kind of good habit hopefully will continue once they come up to the majors.
These early days, especially, I always say that meeting on day one. I mean, I know 29 other teams feel the same way at the beginning of spring
Right.
training, but it is the ultimate optimism in a baseball season, right here at the starting line of the whole thing.
Well, I think everybody who is here today and tomorrow feels very lucky that they're part of this extraordinary game. You know, here we are in sunny Florida, and field looks beautiful, and we're all excited because it means that winter's closing. And I mean, I think it's a great thing that baseball has more competitive balance, and that there's hope in every city. You know, we're also privileged. I think everybody in that room tomorrow is privileged to be wearing a Boston Red Sox uniform, and they know the history of the club, and they're part of a legacy that, you know, goes back to Babe Ruth and Ted Williams and Carl Yastrzemski and David Ortiz. And I feel like they're as excited as we are that, okay, we've had a long winter and now let's get to it.
It all begins here. Tom, thanks for coming by.
All right, thank you.